My friend, and we are speaking about Neil Beckles, who's the candidate for the electoral district of Bell Garden East, Roxborough, Delaford in Tobago, of course. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, thank you for joining us this morning. And, we are just a few days away from the THA elections. In your walkabouts, you would have been speaking to the man on the road and hearing their issues and hearing the things that matter most to them. What would you say is the common thread of what matters most to the people in your electoral district?
Well, good morning again, and good morning to the listening public. To be straight up with you, the main thing that people are asking for, people are seeking more or less job employment opportunities.
Now, when it comes to employment, Tobago is heavily reliant on a few things. That includes agriculture, that includes the hospitality industry and tourism. Being that tourism, other than local domestic tourism, is out the window for now, how do you believe, at least in your electoral district, should you get the seat, you would be able to bridge that gap and get more people out there working?
Well, then in my district, for example, there are employment opportunities, abound. So then you can look at the fishing industry or the agriculture industry or the local tourism sector that is we can maximize the use of these resources to the full benefit of our people.
And how do you intend on maximizing these resources? Especially, so say there are people who come from the hospitality industry and other unrelated industries to fishing and agriculture, for instance. How are you going to have them be efficient and capable of doing jobs in another sector, such as agriculture and fishing?
Well, like for example, as I mentioned, the rainforest. Normally we use the rainforest for more or less passive recreation. We can now develop that now to other uses, to increase the tourism industry. Other sectors such as agro-processing. Mm-hmm. Yes, you mentioned other things different to agriculture. But then we have a lot of fruits in our area. So we can, look at the possibility of fruit juices and other agro products so that we can employ people.
Now, there are a number of young people, and that's one of the common threads I've been hearing as I've been chatting with the various candidates for the various electoral districts. A common thread is that young people want to work, or young people want to find means, ways, and opportunities of gaining income and not necessarily depend on a job from an organization that already exists, but to go into some form of entrepreneurship. How are you ready to support young people and anybody else really who is looking to get into entrepreneurship and small business?
Well, first of all, we must develop the people, to develop, give them the opportunity to develop their skill set. So that there are opportunities for them available. Then there is a unit in the division of community development, enterprise, and labor. We can access those incentives. They have a business unit there, so we can access the incentives available there so that they can have a start in the different skill set, the different discipline.
Now, when it comes to accessing certain opportunities and benefits from these sectors and these factions in the government, education and knowing how to access it is very important. How do you intend on getting the message across to the masses of your electoral district, the information of how they can access some of these benefits?
Well, one of the main things is that I'm a people-centered person. I'm always among the people. And I understand that the information is not reaching to the people. I recognize that. So then we make centers available, make various offices available so that the people can come to it. Now we have a facility called the Oxford Financial Complex where we try to decentralize, the information or the services from the center part of Scarborough, and we bring it now to Roxborough. So then the people in the district now have access to this information. So there is a division of settlement, for example, that have an office there. So then there is the avenue available for them. As I said, I'll make myself available to them, approachable. You would recognize that in the past, the local representative or the area representative, I should say, was not available to them. So the information was not being reached out to them. So then I'll make myself available. The offices, the building, the physical infrastructure is there. The services will be provided right there in the center. So these are avenues that the people will be able to tap into.
Wonderful. And let's talk now about infrastructure. Would you say that the residents in your electoral district are satisfied or pleased with the current level of infrastructure in the Roxborough area?
Of course, yes. What left for them, what left to be done is for them to maximize the use of these facilities. You see, you have noticed that we have different facilities available. We have the hospital that just came. That just was opened. We have the financial complex. We have the Argyle Center there where we could have some local business people, that we call entrepreneurs, can maximize the use of that. We have the swimming pool there at Kendall, so that people could those people interested in swimming can start their development process in becoming professionals, professional swimmers, so the facilities are there available. It's just for us to maximize it. So, for example, local migration, with the facilities available, you will find, people coming from different parts of the island will be coming to do services at Roxborough. So then you could have local migration, and so the opportunity, presents itself for people to develop in the tourism sector, open guest houses, restaurants, these sorts of benefits, spill off benefits from these services or these facilities where people are expected to be so employed.
Are there currently plans, or do you have plans for the future to tie in the agricultural industry, the tourism industry, as well as other industries such as fishing and such?
Of course, yes. As I mentioned, local migration. But then, if the people is aware, and I'm sure they are, very soon they will be coming on stream. The two boats that will link the island ferry, the opening of the airport, so more people will be coming to Tobago. And as I said, opportunities will be available. As I now mentioned a while ago, the fishing industry, that is food, the agriculture industry, that is food production. We can look into that so that you could increase food production so that you have enough for local consumption, be it your home, in your own home. But as I mentioned, more people will be coming to the island, more people will be coming into our district. As you are aware, the rainforest is one of our greatest assets or resource, so that people come looking to explore these facilities, these opportunities should be linked and take full use of.
All right, and with that, I want to thank you so much for your time this morning, Mr. Neil Beckles. You are the candidate for the Belgarden East Roxborough Delaford area electoral district in Tobago. I want to thank you for your time, and all the best coming up next Monday.
You're most welcome. Thanks.
Right. Have a good one. All right, so that was one segment of Meet the Candidate, where I spoke to the candidate for the electoral district of Belgarden East Roxborough Delaford in Tobago, of course. And on the heels of the THA elections coming up next Monday, we are going to continue speaking with other candidates for the various electoral districts.